Okay, it is Friday afternoon here, so I thought I would grab the camera and make a cheeky little video just to kind of finish off the week with. I am working on a huge begonia video, but sometimes it's just great to grab the camera and just talk about whatever comes into my head. And I think many people build their entire channels off that, so why not? So you might have seen the Streptocarpus one where I wasn't so sure about what was causing the issue, and it's been going on for a couple of years. Well, that was a week ago. What a difference a week makes. I cannot believe the speed that these have recovered. Like, these flowers look completely different than what they looked like before, and already I've repotted like the vast majority of them, but already they are looking much more perky, and there are new blooms coming on them, or new buds coming on them in such a short time. So it looks like the jury has decided, and it was indeed the snails that was the issue. Now, of course, dividing them and giving them some new compost definitely helps. Also helps to break up that cycle of the snails and the eggs and so on. But I will certainly keep a close eye out for them. And the drench that I gave, the soil drench, did absolutely nothing. It was the slug pellets that did it. That was all, just a few slug pellets, so I'll have to keep my eye out for that. And I've been struggling with these. I've spotted them and I didn't realise what a massive problem they were causing. What they do is they rasp away at the base, because they're only tiny, at the base of the Streptocarpus, right between the leaves and the roots. So the leaves become extra floppy, and you think they need a water, and it's not that, it's just because they're not attached to the roots. And then of course the roots get rotted, the compost becomes sour, it's just like a cascade into ultimately death. Okay, so yeah, that definitely, I am convinced in my head that was the issue. Okay, so yeah, we've got a few, even the begonias have begun to look a lot better. God, when I think how many plants over the last 12 months I've thrown away, not knowing what the cause was, and it was the snails. So they're in here now. They're probably not going to go away, but I'm onto them. They better just be careful. So I've turned one of my lights off because it's one of those that flickers a lot on the camera. Somebody did say to me, are they flickering like that? Is the bulb going? Are they flickering like that in real life? Well, they're not. The camera just creates that effect. They don't flicker to my eye anyway. Okay, so we'll have to put up with this fan. So we've got a few orchids in bloom. One with a very big name. That one is fantastic. Didn't bloom for 12 months. I thought it was because I've moved it from the hothouse and it's in cooler temperatures, but no, it's just the light. Get it under the light, makes all the difference. A little no ID cattleya here, smells very nice. It's going over a little bit now, but it's a nice one. If, you know, a little gaudy, a little vulgar, but who cares? It's a bloom. I like blooms. The impatiens, niamensis, just flowers all the time, constantly. It does go through an awful lot of water, and it does need a lot of feed, and it gets chlorotic every so often. My cyclamen are coming into bloom very, very early this year. I don't know whether it's because we've had such a hot summer. Maybe they think it's time to come back to life. Even the ones that were kind of in semi-dormancy, I've got, you can just see this is what happens. But they can stay like that for quite a long time in this kind of dry state. You've just got to keep giving them the odd little bit of water. Obviously, the bigger the bulb, the better. I don't want them to completely desiccate, so I'm taking that as like a little cue or a clue to what they want, and I've started bringing some of them back to life again now, and some of them are beginning to flower. It's very early, but hopefully that means they'll last a bit longer. That one's a huge one, great big one. I repotted that one. A couple of begonias worth looking at. This is Coralina. It's done well for blooms, not so well for leaves. I do struggle with this one, especially through winter. Not sure why. I've just sprayed this because it's full of greenfly. Again, I do have the name for it, but I can't remember it. Great big long thing. It's one of those that the greenfly grow for the flowers, but like Streptocarpus. Nice orchid over here. Now this is the most on this near stylus I've ever had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spikes I can see so far. That is definitely the most. When all those are out, that will be great. And that one does have a beautiful scent to it. I've just sprayed some green fly on those begonias down there. Another begonia here. This did come, probably this is a common one, but I've never seen it. Boliviensis firecracker. It's one of those that you stick outside in the sun. It's a tuberous one. It didn't really do that well in here. It's been out all summer and it's beginning to come into its own now, or get to the size where it flowers nicely. So I brought it in about a week ago and it's still doing okay because I have bought some extra light. I found a new light company. I can't remember what they're called. Let's see if I can. It's this one up here. Obviously, it's going to be a Chinese one. I can't remember. I'll stick it on screen when I look. They're very similar to Mars Hydro, but they're a little cheaper. So remains to be seen how durable they are. We'll see. But yeah, it's certainly a good light so far. Nice to see these coming back into life, the Mandevilla, now that I've got a bit more light in here. My geranium, pelargonium, Rushmore Rowan, still in its tiny little pot, always in bloom that. So we've got a few things going on down here. We've got this beautiful Achaemenes, just kind of sprawling all over the place. It goes all the way back there. I've got tons of Achaemenes down here. We've got a few dotted about the place. Some of those haven't bloomed yet for whatever reason. This is just a tangled mess. It looks great, but it becomes difficult to manage when they're all over the place like this. No doubt once winter comes, that'll knock them back a bit, and I will probably prune back these pelargoniums. It's looking a little dark because I've just switched this light off, because that one there is a cheaper light and that does show up flickering. But I wanted to move it closer to this Mandevilla over here, which I've never managed to get to bloom yet. So I'm trying to cast a little more light onto it so that it does. We've got several interesting things over here. Now, that is the flower, believe it or not. This is a weird flower. So this is Nematanthus tropicana. It's a strange flower. It's like a trailer. It's another Gesneriad family. That is weird. I'm not sure if it's fully open yet because I've not really seen one before. Is it that way around? I don't want to snap it off because you know what happens usually. I think. I don't know. I don't know if it's open or not yet. It's a bit odd. There's a few more over here just coming. I think they're just coming. And that is another one of those. That is Escananthus. Again, at first I got it because it was variegated, but I've not actually seen any flowers on that. This Escananthus down here, this is a species one. This one has green flowers. Bought this one mainly for the leaves. The flowers are a little boring. Longicalis. I did have it trailing, but I had to get it out to repot it and I've not put it back yet. So, what else have we got going on? Yeah, we've talked about those, haven't we? Talked about those. This Begonia solimutata. I've had that a few years. This is the best it's looked, I think. I know there's a few dodgy leaves on it, but it just seems to like the really warm temperatures, and it's been such a hot year this year in the UK. It seems to have done really well. Struggles a little bit over winter, but it always seems to come back again. Has the most incredible leaves. And another begonia over here that I've not talked about much. So this one is Marmaduke, still in a very small pot. I believe it can get huge leaves eventually. So that is one that is ready for a repot. Problem with the huge leaves though is they take up so much space, so I have to keep cutting them off. This one is solid silver. That's probably the biggest I've got at the moment in terms of leafage. this one, this size Morier, or Longiciliata as it's more correctly called. This one is a very easily grown one, despite the fact that it looks bizarre. I found it very, very easy in my conditions. That is actually a rhizome cutting, very easy to take. And there's the original plant, there's the mother plant. I spend most of my time with this just basically chopping off leaves because it just keeps growing and growing. It always migrates to the side of the pot, and when you get it over the side of the pot, you can easily snap those off, pot them up, and you're away again. We've got another bloom, begonia in bloom over here. These, I think these are the angel types, aren't they? Angel wings. Again, they're going over now. But what I don't like about it is it's like completely leafless going down the stem. They just don't seem to do that well in the greenhouse. I believe those sorts do really well in a house, but for some reason they don't do that well here. Again, possibly a light issue. This is my only aroid. I did have a number of aroids in the other house, the hot house, but since that's gone, this is the only one that really sort of survived in these conditions. Bearing in mind I went down to 5 last year in here. So this is my Syngonium albo variegata, so I've had that since 2022, and obviously it does better in the summer. It does get knocked back a bit in the winter. So that's just a quick look round. There's a few things going on that's interesting to look at. As I say, just a little taster of what we've got going on at the moment. Big begonia video coming up eventually if you're into that kind of thing. And I think we'll leave it at that. So if there's anything you want me to discuss, by all means let me know. And for now, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.